Or like I don't like fat people being clearly overweight. Or like gay people in general. I just think it's just the juxtaposition that people enjoy, where it's like me saying all these things are horrible things, but like also being those things. I think that's what people think is like funny. It's like ironic.
Hi, beautiful human. I am Zach. That is Dan. And we welcome to the studio for the first time ever.
Yes.
A highly requested guest.
I love it. Highly requested's good.
Chris Sturniolo.
Yup. Let's go.
Can I ask like a dumb question?
Go for it. I love dumb questions.
Doing something like this, where you're on the record and or having a conversation and or being your online persona, which like I'm very interested in its connection to who you actually are. Is it weird doing it alone?
It's very, very, very extremely weird doing this alone. Yeah, for sure. This is like my first interview by myself ever. And even with Nick and Matt, I've only done like 1 or 2 interviews with them. So this is like really my first like real interview setting, and it's pretty fun. But I'm excited, I'm nervous, and it is definitely weird doing it without them. Everything I do without Nick and Matt, I'm like, this is very strange. Even as simple as like going to a store or something. Like some things that you would do that you would think is so normal, doing alone for me without my brothers is like, wow, this is crazy.
Is that genuine though? Like,
It's yeah, for sure.
What is different? Are you thinking about them? Do you feel apart?
I definitely feel apart, both of them. I definitely am thinking of them and feel apart. Like, even I always think of this one memory. I went on a car ride with one of my friends and went into a Starbucks, and I was like, it's crazy that they're never gonna go into the Starbucks, my triplet brothers. And it's like, who ever really thinks of that as like a thing? Like,
Yeah, but they could go on their own.
Yeah, they could.
They have their own free will and ability.
Yeah, but it was like kind of further away, and I was like, they probably won't go in this one. I'm the only triplet that has been in this Starbucks. And like simple stuff like that will cross my mind. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, what made you want to do a solo interview? Because you did post that you want to start doing interviews by yourself.
Yeah. Honestly, just being so tied to my triplet brothers on the internet and just every aspect of life, I was like, it would be fun to just like do one interview of just me and just see how it goes. It's kind of just fun for me and like challenging myself. I would say like personally, out of me, Matt, and Nick, I probably struggle the most without being with my brothers, I would think.
Why do you think so?
I think that Nick always just carries himself as like, he's a good, like he just like is good at being solo. Like Nick he could sit alone in his room, be fine. If I'm home and they're also home, I have to go hang with one of them. I'm not gonna like sit alone in my room when they're like right upstairs from me, you know what I mean? So it's like, Nick always has been more independent, more like just more driven to do things on his own. And me and Matt are probably more of like, damn, we want our brothers around. But I just think like even sleeping, like I hate sleeping alone. I have my own room and I'll like take turns sleeping with my brothers like to this day in their rooms with them because I just hate being alone from them. It's crazy. It's a crazy like thing to experience being a triplet, and it's wild.
Is it fair to say that Nick has kind of been doing not his own thing, but like he's been charting a different path than you and your other brother, right?
Definitely.
Like, you and your other brother did sports.
Yep.
Just different.
Definitely. I think Nick growing up being like in the closet and gay and like kind of scared to tell his siblings, family, and whatever, when he finally was able to come out and like be his authentic self, it definitely just helped him like be more okay with doing things alone and more okay with just doing things in general. I think Nick felt a lot of like second guessing in his life just growing up. And I think once it got to the point where we like graduated high school, we started doing what we wanted to do. It got to the point where now I think he's in the most confident position he's ever been in his whole life. And I'm very proud of him for it. So
Can you tell that he was second guessing things without him telling you he was second guessing things?
I most definitely could. I think like just growing up and just like seeing things that he didn't like or like just seeing things that he just never really felt like fully like doing what he wanted to do. It always felt like an add-on sometimes, like especially with sports. Like me and Matt were super excited to play sports, baseball, hockey, lacrosse, soccer. I played every sport like ever. And then whenever Nick would join the team, it would always be like, oh, like, I guess I'll do it because my brothers are. It never felt like he was doing something like authentically himself. But even growing up, like, he started doing like gymnastics on his own, and then that was like, wow, like he was finding things that he enjoyed and doing it on his own, and he was just more okay with it, and just he's always been more individual for sure. And then me and Matt, he definitely just always would second guess himself for sure. I don't know how to like word it, but yeah, that's the best I can do.
You've said that since you knew what gay was, you knew that he was gay.
Correct. Yeah. I just think like it wasn't that I like for sure guaranteed knew that Nick was gay, but growing up, like just our relationship with people, I would always like, as we were getting older and like relationships were happening around us, like in high school, middle school, I would always think of Nick like dating a girl, and it would just not make sense in my head. I'm like, I feel like that just wouldn't happen for some reason. I don't know. Like, and then when he came out, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know what it was that was making me think that, but I just never could really picture Nick in a relationship with a girl. And that's what really did it for me when he came out. Like, when Nick came out, I was just like, oh, cool. Like, word, finally. I was just more happy and proud of him, because now I'm like, now you can just do what you want, be yourself, without feeling like there's this big secret looming in the air. Like, I was just relieved. So it's like, I imagine how relieved I was when Nick came out. I could only imagine how relieved he felt when he came out. So
I'm genuinely interested in the ties that bond twins, triplets, because it's unlike anything ever.
Yeah.
And do you believe that interest that I have is what has kind of helped, one of the many reasons that have fueled the success of the three of you?
Definitely. I would say like one thing that always sticks out to me is like you know, when you have if you had a conversation with your parents and you're like, oh, you're never gonna know until you like have your own kids, and you'll never know love like that, and like I would do anything for my children. That's how I feel with my brothers. So whenever I would have like that conversation with my mom or whatever, and she'd be like, oh, like for Nick, for example, say he has no intent of like having kids of his own or like adopting kids or anything. So he always says like, I don't want any kids. And my mom's like, you'll never know that until like you have like until you have your own kids and you like feel affected by feelings like there's no stronger love than like that parents have than for their kids. And I'm like, I disagree with you, because growing up as triplets, like I feel like that's the equivalent love. Nick and Matt are like my kids. It's a weird way to put it, but it's like I would take a bullet for Nick and Matt. I feel like my life isn't as important without Nick and Matt. So just like stuff like that. Like I feel like whenever someone's like, you'll never feel love like that, like a parent, I'm like, you're wrong, because I'm feeling the most immense level of love that I ever can from both of my brothers. But to answer your question about like it,
that's really special.
Yeah, it's very special. I love it. But to answer your question about like it, like the career wise and how that elevated it, I would definitely say like when I first started on social media, it would be like me making a couple TikToks or whatever, and then every single time I would make them with Nick and Matt, and then the triplet level was introduced to it, people would be like way more blown away by it. Like every video I had with Nick and Matt, and it did significantly better of ones with just me in it. And then it just stuck and people loved it. People are always curious. They've been curious our whole life, just asking questions about it. I mean, every single time someone meets triplets, they always have like a list of questions that they could just ask.
I mean, it is interesting.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like, it is just normal life, but it's a bond that like a lot of people can't ever fully understand. And it's like, it's the same yet different to a normal sibling connection.
It's like way different, I feel like, because even we have an older brother.
Yeah, I feel bad for him.
I wouldn't say I feel bad for him, because Justin, he's fine. He's chilling, and he just gets it. Like, but like I think I love all my brothers equally. I just feel a more special connection.
It's just impossible.
Yeah, with Nick and Matt, because it's like
you can't just
it's like when Justin's my brother, and I love him as equally as I do Nick and Matt, and I would do the same for Justin that I would Nick and Matt if he ever needed anything. But for me, it's like if I'm experiencing every waking moment with two people that are the exact same as me, school, in the same grade for the entirety of school. Obviously, we're always in the same grade, always going to classes together, always experiencing every moment together, going to friends' houses together. Like, it's obviously another level of like like brotherhood. Like I'm like, yes, Justin's still my brother and I care for him, but he's not experiencing every single thing me, Matt, and Nick are. Like I could like relate to Nick and Matt about anything, where it's like Justin is like obviously older, he does his own thing, but he definitely, I do feel bad that he did face the challenge of having 3 younger brothers, but he wanted a younger sibling, so you got what you asked for, buddy.
Times 3.
There's 3 of us.
Are you surprised at all by the level of, how would you describe what it is you've built online and in life?
It surprises me every day, and it's just like, it's crazy because I never ever, like I always knew that it would get to this level. Like deep down, I was like, it's definitely possible, and we're gonna get there one day.
But do you think that while you're working at a grocery store?
No, like I did, which was weird. But I think COVID just really helped me, Matt and Nick, like severely. I think it was the biggest like blessing in disguise ever, because when I was working at the grocery store, we were going to school. And then COVID hit and we're all stuck at home. I think that was like the turning point of like I could truly become like myself and be who I am. Just because like when you're in quarantine and you have like no one else judging you or no friends around or anything, it just like, I feel like it just like had me surrounded by my family who made me comfortable to do anything I wanted to do. And me, Matt, and Nick have always wanted to make videos to some level. So I just think that COVID helped a lot, and just being in quarantine, and then we just all were able to just be our true authentic selves. And I think that that's what really like just started our careers, being who we really wanted to be.
But okay, so is there a goal in sight when you choose, like, and like what is the conversation like between the 3 of you when you're like, maybe we should try to make content? Because it's like, okay, like you play, are you the only one that's a musician, like has any musical talent?
I wouldn't say I'm the only one with actually, yeah, I would say I'm the only one with musical talent. I feel like I just always was into music at some level, like going to school and everything, and just participating in the school lessons of like drum and band and all that stuff. I even did like outside of school lessons for guitar for like years. But the choice of content was more of like, we always knew we wanted to do something on the internet. Like ever since I remember like people making jobs off of their phones or off of YouTube.
Who'd you see that you were like, oh, this is...
It sounds so funny, but like the Dolan twins, it's just like hilarious because we're triplets, but it's just like, I saw them being like just like a brother duo, like doing what they want on the internet. And
by the way, 2 icons.
Yeah, and then it's just like, it was just crazy. But seeing just YouTubers, who else? I forget. I try to think back to like when I was younger, who I was watching. But one thing about me is I forget everything.
By the way, like those 2 guys, like that set of twins, that's enough to prove to you that like you can do something here.
Definitely.
And, like, make a living and build a life.
Yeah, I was never like a diehard fan of like any YouTuber in specific, but I would always watch their videos and just think of how cool it was that it's like 2 brothers just doing fun stuff together and made a living out of it.
So who brought it up first to who?
I think Nick was always more inclined to do internet anything. Like he just loved it. Like he would always like taking photos. He always liked editing stuff. He always liked making little like movies or videos, just stuff like that. Our YouTube channel actually started as Nick's individual channel. Fun fact. The first video on it was like a vlog that Nick did for like just some like videography thing he used to love doing. Like even when we would go travel on like family vacations, Nick would always compile like a full weekend into like 2 minutes and just post that on Instagram. So he always made like little videos of like family vacations or like vlogs or something like that. And then people were tuned in from like our school and stuff. Like they wanted to see like what our weekend was like. Nick would have a little 2-minute video of like, oh, this is what it was. And people thought it was cool. And then we would always vlog like summers or like just like little weekends, because we're huge on memories too. Like me, Matt, and Nick love looking back at things and being like, oh, this is awesome. Just stuff like that.
I gotta say, like, that's a generational thing. And like, yes, like in our generation and like the generation above us, like, dude, we take pictures and like people keep pictures, but you all like relive stuff. Like you will go back on your daily memories, like your Snapchat memory shit, and like you will look and you like to relive.
Definitely.
I like run away.
Definitely. I try to like not do it as much anymore because I hate like just looking back, and because it makes me sad sometimes, but looking back is, I feel like sometimes it's needed, especially with like growing at such a rapid rate. I feel like sometimes I need to look back and realize like, damn, like look around and look at life now and look at how it was and just compare both of them, and then feel a moment of gratitude for myself, because sometimes I forget and sometimes I get too caught up, and especially being able to do it with people I love and just be together, it's just huge. And I often forget, and sometimes I'll go down in the Snapchat memories and see myself scanning groceries with a terrible haircut, and I'm like, wow, it actually is crazy. It's wild.
Do you see those videos and like remember that person?
Oh, definitely. I remember exactly what I was feeling in any moment if you show me a photo. I also think like having brothers with me all the time helps me remember so much more, because it's like, say you hung out with a friend and they're like, oh, do you remember like this, that, but
Yeah,
whatever.
jogs your memory.
And you're probably like, not really, but having two people that experience everything together, it's like 3 memories in one of the same life. It's like I have 2 backup storages right next to me for everything I forget.
Neither one of them are here today.
Neither one of them. It's just my memories today. And they're never going to have memories of this until they come on the show.
Weird to think about? That's weird to think about, yeah?
It is weird to think about. It is. And it's like, I feel like people forget that a lot. Like that, I don't know, it's just weird making my own memories. It's such a simple thing that everyone experiences, but it is so weird to think about. I even think of like my future if I have kids. I'm like, I can't have one kid in this life. I need to have at least 2. Yeah. I can't have an only child. I just think of how important siblings are.
Well, like based on genetics, a couple of you are gonna have twins, triplets,
I hope I have
right?
twins. That's my goal in life. I want to have like one kid and then twins, like, or maybe even triplets. Who knows? I'll do the same shit my parents did. One kid and then triplets. But I don't know. I hope I have like multiples one day.
So, you think about that often?
Not really. I think like I don't look into the future at all, like relationship wise. I'm actually like kind of terrified of it.
You said your biggest fear was having a girlfriend.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why, but it definitely is. But when I think of the future, I think of me with Nick and Matt at like 80 in rocking chairs by like the beach or something. I don't think of me with like a family. Yeah.
Why are you afraid of having a girlfriend?
Honestly,
is it heartbreak? Is it commitment?
It's a little bit of everything, honestly.
Failing someone? Finding room for someone?
I just spilled water on my face. That was flattering. But I think my biggest fear of having a relationship is just like, I don't know. It starts with like just simple relationship things, and seeing it, I get like just cringed out a little. Like if I'm walking on the street and I see a couple, like I have this joke with Nick where I'm like, if I ever am sharing a scooter with someone, like that's probably gonna be the most life-changing day of all, because as of right now I just feel so like that. Like if I ever am walking down the street and I see a couple sharing a scooter, I'm like, oh my God, that's my biggest fear. And I joke with my friends, like I could never get to that level. And I think it's just, I am very protective of my emotions. I've definitely been hurt in the past, and that probably has a majority to do with it. But even I've never dated someone ever in my life. So it's like...
So how were you hurt?
Just like, I've never dated anyone, but I've definitely had like experiences, obviously. Like I'm not like, just not totally uninterested in like relationship stuff at all. It's just like, to bring someone to the next level of like dating them is just scary to me. I don't even know how to explain it. I've probably done a terrible job, and everyone's like, wow, like you're doing an awful job at explaining it. But it's just also like just weird territory to explain.
No,
like,
totally.
Yeah.
And by the way, like love is weird. Relationships are weird. It's all of it's weird, but it's also beautiful. And like when you find the right person, it feels right. And
that's my goal, is to just, I'm not looking for love at all. I just am hoping to just get like just starstruck one day by somebody and just like totally like just find the right person like that. Just totally caught off guard. That's my goal.
Dude, if you keep toxic energy out of your way and you keep your heart open, it will come your way.
That's my goal. I'm just trying to live life, be myself, be with my brothers. And then if I find a girl that's like amazing a couple years from now, then that I would share a scooter with and feel no cringe or anything like that, then I'd be like, wow, this is real.
Do you ever think like a relationship could change the dynamic of you and your brothers? Like if you did have a girlfriend, you would spend time with her and you wouldn't be able to spend time with them, and then it changes your entire career and filming schedule.
Yeah, that is true. Even like at the start of our career, me, Matt, and Nick were all kind of in talking stages, and we all literally cut it off to just spend more time together to like jump on YouTube and get it done.
Really?
Yeah, we were all pretty much talking to somebody at around like senior year-ish, and then we were just like, we need to dial in and get this shit done because we need to just be together and do it. And even like my senior year, I graduated high school and we told our mom, we were like, give us 1 year to make YouTube work. And we just grinded all summer long and just put out content. We used to be like once a week or something like that. I forget sometimes. I think it was once a week we would post on every Friday, and then people loved car videos. So we started posting them every Friday, and then we started posting Wednesdays as well, just because we knew how important car videos were to people and we wanted to give them that. But at the same side, we wanted to vlog because we liked the memories. We liked to have the time capsule. So we were like, we have to have a vlog day and a challenge day and then a car video day. And then we've been posting for like however long we've been every Wednesday and Friday since then.
What is it about the car videos that people like?
I think it's just the fact that we're triplets, we're sitting in a car and just late night vibes and just being ourselves. It's just truly authentic to who me, Matt, and Nick are. It's like, I think watching our car videos, I feel like people feel themselves as present there and like in just like a friend group with friends that love them. And I think that that's what people enjoy most about it. And we're also really funny, I feel like. It's especially Nick. Like, Nick is someone that I would just like, I would see as not my brother, and I'd be like, this kid is, I need to be friends with this kid. He's hilarious. He's super funny, super outgoing.
So is
kinda.
he, kinda?
Yeah. Nick's like halfway outgoing. He's outgoing to the people he loves, and like caring for the people he loves. But Nick's also, he puts up a big shield, a big barricade sometimes. But yeah.
Could be safer.
Yeah, definitely. I just think
But also more lonely.
Nick just doesn't let people that he doesn't truly love affect his life. Nick's on a straight line, and it's either you're walking with Nick in this life or you're just not, you're in the way. I respect him for it.
Respect, yeah.
Yeah. He's about it.
Was he really the one who convinced y'all to do this?
Pretty much. I think that he had the most drive for it. I always felt like I wanted to do something creatively. So I think me and Nick are like Batman and Robin in this, because he likes editing, he likes creating content, and I love also coming up with creative ideas and doing stuff. So he definitely was a big factor of why we started, just with the like simple fact that he was into like videos and everything like that. And I think my assistance of like coming up with video ideas and enjoying it were just two main reasons of why it started and why it became such a big thing. Was definitely me and Nick. No hate to Matt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what role does Matt play in this?
Matt, he just like, he always loved YouTubers as well. Like, Matt spends the most time indulging in content, I would say. Like, he was probably the most one of us to like see the people on the line and be like, wow, I want to be like this person, or I want to like do that. And he also comes up with creative ideas. I just would say I like come up with more. And then, and like, because I don't want to leave Matt fully out, but he's more of like once you have the plan, he joins in and he's ready to execute it and have fun. Like, that's Matt's goal. He's not part of the step-by-step progress, but once it's there and ready to happen, he's ready.
Yeah, he does. He shows up and leaves.
Exactly. But he does it, and he's funny and he loves it.
How would you describe, like, do you consider yourself famous?
No. Definitely not. I even have friends back home that are like people back home that are like, say like famous, and it's like probably my least favorite word, just because I just feel like famous is like, I don't know, the second I feel like someone's famous, I don't associate them to like regular life, and just I feel like it's just the word to me puts too much emphasis on an ordinary person's life, like saying they're famous. I feel like it's just too much, and it's just an overwhelming thought to think of myself as like famous. It freaks me out a little bit.
Do you consider yourself lucky?
I think I am lucky, but I would also say that I think me, Matt, and Nick deserve it just because of the amount of work we put in. So I would say more of like blessed and fortunate is how I feel.
I get that.
Yeah, because I do think that we worked really hard for what we have.
Yeah, and the flip side is like people work hard all day, every day. And
Yeah,
they
do.
It's a cycle, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yep.
But they keep going with hope that it does.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself doing like? Do you see like how do you see this thing evolving as you evolve as a person?
Me and Matt and Nick probably have a conversation about how this evolves every single day, because it's like we want to give the viewers what they want. We want to continue to have fun as brothers, but we also are growing in this world, and the world is changing. So it's like I think what started was like when we used to drive in the minivan and go park in a parking lot and film videos like that. That was a part of our life and what we used to do every single day. So I think our content will evolve with how me, Matt, and Nick evolve in this world. I think because that's how it started. It was just like a flash of what we were doing in this life and what we were doing. Like car videos was just a glimpse into our life and what we were doing, because me, Matt, and Nick would do that regardless. So it's like when we were filmed the first car video ever, that was a regular night for me, Matt, and Nick just on camera. So I think how it evolves content-wise is just how it evolves in our life-wise. The more our life evolves, the more the content will just come with it and work around what we want to do in our life.
What's been the hardest part about this whole thing so far?
Wow. There's so many things that I'm grateful for, and so many things that I also feel are difficult. Probably just like filming a lot sometimes gets overwhelming. Posting like 3 times a week, that's sometimes difficult. But I hate using the word hard because it's something I love, but it definitely just gets overwhelming sometimes. I would say just like balancing. Balance is like the word of the most important word to me. I think everything has to have a balance, and if something's off balance, then it gets harder. I think maintaining balance is probably like the hardest thing. Like balance of like keeping something's like, I don't know how to word it, but
I
it's
get it.
just,
Like between work and life.
just work and life. And it's like producing that much content, it's hard to like sometimes even keep things off of the camera. And it's like sometimes if me, Matt, and Nick are arguing or having a bad week, because it's like when you live with 2 people, you're gonna have challenges sometimes and you're gonna argue. So it's like if we're having a bad week where maybe one of us is mad at the others, it's like hard sometimes to keep that out of content of like arguing. And there's sometimes where people like will notice it and they're like, damn, like Matt was mad at Nick on this video, or Nick had an attitude this video. And it's like, because I think like keeping life out of content, just like how you're feeling, is probably the hardest sometimes, just because of how frequently we're filming.
But also people want life in the content too, don't they?
Exactly, they do.
You're just
for
like
sure.
everybody else, like, yeah, siblings fight.
Some people find it entertaining when we fight and argue. But it's also like, I always make the jokes of like me, Matt, and Nick argue every day. It's just like we get over it way faster than other people that would argue. Nick and Matt could say the most hurtful things to me, and that by later that night we're having the best time ever, because it's just like being together all our life and just experiencing everything. Like it's so hard for me to actually stay mad at them, even if I'm like disappointed, even if like, because I just forgive them so quickly. I just know that we're all on the same like wavelength of life. Like we understand each other so well. So it's just like the second something bad happens or one of us is mad at the other one, it's just really, we just think like, this isn't really as important, and I know in a couple hours you're not going to be this mad, so let's just put it behind us. We can just go on.
What surprised you the most about this whole thing?
Probably just how fast it happened and how quickly my life changed, because it kind of just changed overnight for me, Matt, and Nick.
Literally, I mean, it was really quick, dude.
Yeah, it was just like seeing how fast like my life changed from like the grocery store to like flash forward a couple years of now. Like I was always catching up on what was going on, and just like thinking back like, wow, that's insane. Just because it's just shocking, because you have dreams and you have things you want to do in this life, and then once it happens, it's like, okay, what just happened? How did that happen? And was that even real? Like that happens all the time. I literally find myself looking at my hands like, whoa, like it just happened so quickly. Like, cause we were posting every day. We asked for 1 summer off from my mom. My mom was never the type of mom to be like, you got to go to school, you got to do this, you got to do that. She was like do what makes you happy and just believe in yourself and have a backup plan. That's what my mom was. So I have 4 years of carpentry under my belt. I did carpentry in high school, and I was going to be a carpenter if I wasn't going to be a YouTuber. So that was always just felt good to have, because I was never like nervous of YouTube not working. So I was like, I'm just going to go get a job and start building some houses or something. So having a backup plan was always good. And then just like, we just committed to it, and then it just happened so fast. It's so crazy to think of, because like, even I made a list of like things that I wanted to complete in life, and then it all happened. And now I'm like, damn, I got to remake a list.
That's cool, but
Yeah.
also really scary at the same time.
Yeah, very scary.
What was on that list?
The list was, one was being, I probably have it on my phone, but it was only like 5 things. One was meeting Bale and Levine, who is also a YouTuber who I really liked. Met him, filmed a video together. Awesome, outstanding, great kid. Like super, super kind. Then the other one was being generous to our family and our just parents, and kind of rewarding them for sticking through having 3 kids that wanted to chase a crazy dream. Mm-hmm. So we got to be generous to our parents. We also don't post like stuff like that, because it's just more emotional and intact to our life. Like me, Matt, and Nick gave our dad enough money to buy a brand new truck, and never posted anything about it, because it's just like, my dad has always had the same truck growing up, and we would always make jokes because he has a 3-seater truck with a 6-person family. So it was more of just a work car for him, but we'd always be like, Dad, you need to get a different truck, because like me, Matt, and Nick are like piling on each other to get in here if we had to go somewhere with my dad. So we're just getting him, and we got him a new truck. Our parents are so like they're also just like, we shouldn't take from our kids. Like, this is you guys. And they're very hardworking people, and I love them both so much, but they also love, like, I could tell my mom and dad, like, you guys don't have to work ever again in your life. We got you. And they'd be like, we're good. Like, please just go do what you got to do. Like, I'm going to have fun. Like, they both enjoy it, and they both like just are hardworking people.
Mary Lou and James.
They love it. They love it. They love our work too. I think that their gift of everything here is the fact that me, Matt, and Nick are just happy doing what we're doing, and we're still together.
How'd you describe to them that there was some lady in LA with the garage that she converted, and the 3 of you can live here because her daughter saw your videos and was like, yo, you should manage them?
It was crazy. I mean, Laura's right there in the other room, and she's an awesome person as well. And it was just a wild roller coaster, because of, even I had to learn things from like Laura and like new life of going to LA, and then I had to relay what I'm learning and like translate it to my parents, because it was just like, I'm learning stuff too at the same time you are. So it's like, all got to trust the process here and just take it one step at a time. I think the first time we ever came to LA, my mom did come. We came out here for a week. We did like, Lars was awesome and very thinking ahead, because she saw the potential in me, Matt and Nick. So she said, you guys are going to experience like a week of what you want your life to be. So we did a photo shoot. She called paparazzi for us. So we got paparazzi'd for the first time, which was hilarious. And then we did like a little event, like a red carpet thing. And so we had like kind of like a busy week in LA, which is like current day, all compact into like 1 week, like 2 years ago. And then I was like just experiencing that. My mom was there and just seeing it all. And she's like, this is what you guys want to do? Like, it's going to be fun. And you just got like, and I just trusted Laura right away. And I would just always tell my mom, like, it was just hard when like thinking of how realistic it was. Like, that's what my mom and dad struggled with. And then I think obviously making money at some point helps them see like, okay, yeah, you guys are actually, you can do that. That's definitely like a big thing that solidified it, because it wasn't just like an imaginary dream at this point. It was actually like a career that you could make.
Yeah, you could see something from your work.
So that was a big part of it. But my mom and dad they've been learning along this journey the same way me, Matt, and Nick are. And we're just like filling them in on stuff, and they trust us. They understand everything. And they're learning every day that goes by like something new about the creator space. Even like getting more into like knowing more about other creators that are on the internet. My dad's like, oh, these guys are funny. Like the other day, my dad calls me, and I have a friend, Sam, that's not Sam and Colby. It's a different Sam. And he's like, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, I'm going to Topgolf with my friend Sam. And he's like, oh, are you going with Sam and Colby? I'm like, no, Dad, those are just other internet people. Like they just are so on the internet now and so curious about it. And they're just learning so much about it. And I just think it's funny because it's like, I don't know, they'd never seen like the parents that would be like on Instagram or like on like TikTok or anything or YouTube. But even like now, my dad watches every video we put out, and he probably hasn't missed one since. He'll probably watch this interview and think it's awesome. So they're just super supportive, and they were ready to learn, and they knew that I don't know, it was hard in the beginning, but once they were learning about it and understanding things, then they're chilling now. I've never had a better relationship with my parents than I do now.
That's special.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is there any part of you that's afraid of all this going away? Because like online success is fleeting. Like
Yeah.
and you call it what it is, right? Like there's people who are on TikTok who've amassed like in some cases like 30 million plus followers who now nobody gives two flying shits about.
Yep.
And like, dude, like they post on Instagram and it gets 2,000 likes and they have 1.5 million followers. It's like, what is going on?
I mean, that's obviously a fear that goes through my head a lot, but I just feel like more in touch with Nick and Matt, and more in touch with our fan base as well. Like I feel like our fan base is so supportive and so strong.
And yours is built on something different, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I just think it's more of a
something.
connection with people.
Yeah.
Like that's why I always don't really fear that much. Because the other night we were joking about it, me, Matt, and Nick. We were like I'd be so sad if we fell off. Just not even because of like a shift in life, but just because of we just have so much fun doing this, and we like experiencing it with everyone. And we were just kind of joking about like we can't fall off. We hope we don't fall off, whatever. And we walk into a restaurant, and an entire soccer team noticed us, and we just all kind of like chuckled at it because we're like, we were having a conversation about like, what if this doesn't work out? What if blah 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 blah? And then we walk into a restaurant and got noticed by an entire table of a soccer team. We were like, wow, like that was a sign. Because like the second we were showing like doubt or just insecurity in ourselves, and then just like walking in and getting noticed by tons of people that were excited to see us, it just felt really rewarding in that moment. It was like, wow, this is actually crazy. But even me and Nick have this joke where we go back and forth. We're like, whenever we're like planning content or something, before we always start with like a joke of like we do this good thing of never getting comfortable. If you're never comfortable,
it's so true. I've been saying that to this show's been in existence for 17 years, and that's been the only fucking thing that has
if
been
you
like
ever
my mantra.
I can swear in here. You say,
yeah, you're fine.
Nice, but I was trying to avoid swearing. I probably did already, but
you're okay.
Yeah, but even me and Nick always joke around of like the second you get comfortable is the second that
complacency
falls apart. Because I think that people that walk around so confident in what they do, and sometimes confidence is good, but overconfidence and being comfortable is a downfall, because
so
then
true.
You just think you're like, I'm good, nothing bad will ever happen, and then you just walk around with your head high, and then it's not a good place to be. So me and Nick always joke around with, how uncomfortable are you? And then we go back with scenarios about how uncomfortable we are. Nick's like, you want to know what, Chris? I'm so uncomfortable. I feel like I have to scream in a church right now. And I'm like, Nick, I'm so uncomfortable that I feel like I have to kick a wall with a toothpick between my toenail and my. And then we just go back and forth for like 10 minutes with like uncomfortable scenarios, and it's hilarious. We just laugh at each other.
That is the right mindset, though.
Yeah, we just try to always stay comfortably uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully said.
Yeah.
So why do you want to do music?
Oh man, I don't know. Music has always been just like a different way to express, like not even making music, just listening to it. Like my whole high school life, I felt like I connected with music a lot, just because like me, Matt, and Nick never had like smartphones or like a way to play music. We would just listen to what's on the radio. And I didn't have my first iPod till I was in like 8th grade or something like that, which was like nowadays generation, kids have like phones at in 2nd grade, which is crazy. But like I always liked like just music a lot, and then I wanted to play instruments. I played drums all of school, all up in school. I played guitar, I took lessons, and I just really felt like it was just something I really connected to. And then once I started listening to music in high school, I just really, I think it was the first time I was like just like really enjoying something like a lot besides like sports in school, because I always loved sports. But then once I was playing music in school, and I would do all the live performances in school, like with drums and stuff, and I just feel like it's a different way to express yourself. That's probably one of my biggest regrets, is like never sticking with like an instrument or something. But yet again, I think in school I always also had like a lack of confidence of like being my full self. And I think that's why I say like COVID blessed me, Matt and Nick, so much to like be our true authentic selves. Because I think before that, I was just also super scared to like do anything super out of the box. And that's why even like kids going to our school were making music. And I was like, wow, this is like, they're like going for it, it just felt so like outlandish to me, like crazy.
And how does it feel to you now?
I mean,
does it feel within reach?
It's on the back burner for me right now, just because of how much me, Matt, and Nick do together and how much we film. But I always try to just like be somewhat in the music presence, whether that's like I've done 2 videos with like rappers now on my channel, my personal channel, and it's just like everything individually for me, Matt and Nick, is kind of on the back burner a little, which kind of sucks. But it's just because of how much we do together and how much content we produce as the Sturniolo triplets. And so like music, I just enjoy being in the music scene right now and like going to concerts and being with friends that are in the music space.
Have you ever written a song?
No, I haven't. I probably did when I was younger. I definitely did when I was like probably like 10, and then I just stopped in school. I just felt too judged in school. I felt like I would just go to sports, do this, do that. And like, I don't know. I just never really wanted. That's probably like, if I were to reverse time, I would just probably try to dive deeper into music.
You don't need to reverse time.
I know.
You're 20 years old.
I know,
what are you
but now it's like,
about?
I know, but now it's always like, I just feel so established as a YouTuber and what I'm already doing.
Yeah, but
so I always just feel like, damn, I'm not going to do like all that. I've been in studios and like just fucked around with friends, and I probably have like a song or two that I like could compile together, just because of how many like times I've been around people that are in the music space. Like I don't know, I just right now I'm watching it from an outside perspective, and I got to meet people that I never thought I'd meet that I really love. Like I met my favorite rapper, and so right now I'm just like observing the music space from an outside perspective as a YouTuber with my brothers. That's
if you need to do it and you're like called and compelled to do it, and the timing is right, you will do it.
Yeah, that's what I agree.
You can't force it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Because like even like right now, I feel like if I were to go and make a song, and even I think Matt is my biggest supporter in that. Every night he's like, bro, you got to go to a studio and make a song, or you got to go out and do something music related, just because he sees like a lot of potential that I don't even really see in myself, but he wants me to do it more than anybody. And so I feel like once I'm on the same wavelength for myself as that Matt is, then maybe something cool and special can happen. But as of right now, I just feel like it's too out of reach and too out of the way. I want to just focus on what's going on right now with YouTube and with my brothers.
Are you concerned at all what, you know, your not all your fans, I'm sure they will support, but other people say like it's another YouTube?
I mean, definitely. Like everyone always says shit, but that's why for me, it's like, it's not even, I don't even care about posting it or like promoting it.
Make it for yourself.
I would just fuck around and make songs and just have them on my phone to show my friends and be like, look at this. I don't care about like streams or like playing like songs on like and just dropping it on like Apple Music or anything. It just doesn't matter to me, because I think the part of me that's out in the world already is what people will perceive of me.
Mm-hmm.
So dropping music to the outside world is even like a further step than just simply making music for fun. But yeah, I just like watching it happen and going to live performances and like it's crazy because my first like concert, my first festival ever, my first concert was like my own show, which was crazy. And my first festival I ever went to, I went on stage with my favorite rapper.
Is that Little Skies?
Yeah. Those are my first two like concert and festival experiences.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was
That's
on
also unfair for whatever comes next.
Yeah, it was just crazy. Like, even the festival one was insane because it was unplanned. I had no idea I was going to go on that stage with Skies in front of that many people. Not a clue. And it happened. And damn, I was shocked, but it was fun.
Pretty sick.
Yeah. And I thank my friend Sam. He's the GOAT. My friend Sam McGrath, he works closely with Skies in the music space. And he knew how much I loved Skies, and he just like was like, bro, you guys got to meet. I see so much that could happen, just not even in the like just the internet space, obviously, but not even in the internet space, because you guys would just be cool together. And then he got me into Lyrical Lemonade Summer Smash, which I've also been a big fan of, like Cole Bennett my whole life, like in Lyrical Lemonade. I had probably, if I sold all my Lyrical Lemonade stuff right now, I could buy a used car. Like, that's how much money I spent. And so going to that festival, meeting Skies, and then just hanging out there. And then Skies was performing, and the song that I made a TikTok to that got like 7 million views or something was on. And I was like, oh shit, like this is the song I made a TikTok to. And the next thing you know, he pointed at me, and I was walking out on stage. And I had no idea I was gonna do that. It was literally like, I didn't know I was going out on stage like until 30 seconds beforehand, which I'm happy I didn't, because I would have been shitting myself all day if I thought that was coming.
You can't prepare for that.
Yeah.
You just got to do.
Yeah. But I really thank Sam for that. That kid has helped me create so many life memories, and I really appreciate him. Not only for that, I just think he's a really good friend and amazing person. So I really care for my friend Sam.
What have you learned about yourself since the beginning of this?
I've learned how reliant I am on my siblings is one thing I've learned a lot. I've learned that I do fear a lot, unfortunately. Just I am a very like scared person sometimes. Just like even the simplest things. But like for the first one, relying on Nick and Matt, like it's crazy how much I actually rely on those two to just operate my life. Like simple stuff. Like even just like the other day, they both went out because I didn't wake up. Like I slept in, they both went out for breakfast, and I woke up home alone, and felt like I was like crazy. I was like, this is insane. And it's just simple shit like that. So I just feel really dependent on them, which is also a scary thing. I was telling Nick the other day, I was like, it's scary to me how much I care for you and Matt, because like I feel like we're gonna be like those like people you hear about that are like so in love that they all just die together at the same time. Like literally, like I always said that to Nick and Matt. I'm like, the second one y'all die, I'll probably die like 5 minutes later from like heartbreak or some shit.
Are you nervous for the first relationship that it?
Not really, just because I feel like we all understand each other so well, and we're all gonna want to like be in a relationship at some point. So it's like we're obviously gonna have to balance that into our already existing life. So I'm really not scared, just because I know how much I value my friendship with them. And even like my friend Nathan back home, like I don't, obviously because of where I am now in my life and my career in LA, I don't get to go home and see him as often. But I'm at the point with Nathan where we care about each other so much that it's like I could not see him for a couple months.
Yeah.
And I go home and I feel very, obviously I would never get to the point where I'm not seeing Matt and Nick for a couple months. But I just, with my friends in my life, I value my relationships with them so much that I don't need to see you every day to realize that we're good. Like I think friends that like break up or whatever because they don't see each other as often.
Oh, not real.
It's like, you guys weren't friends in the first place then.
So
That's
accurate.
how I believe.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Mature.
Yeah. I care a lot about just friends, like all my friends.
Yeah, you give mature Northeastern attitude.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think that's the first time I've ever been called mature in my whole life. Which is a good thing. I appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe I'm fucking missing out, or like
maybe. I don't know. I carry an immature vibe to myself, and I'm kind of like a hooligan sometimes.
I don't know. I find myself agreeing with you, so maybe I'm the immature one.
Hey, I don't know. I think we're both mature, but have some fun. That's what I think it is.
I'll take it.
Well, what parts of this job aren't fun and feel like work to you?
That's a great question. I think sometimes what feels like work to me is like probably when we're filming and it doesn't really feel like authentic sometimes. I'm like, this is not this isn't good. Because there's probably millions of times where me, Matt, and Nick have been filming and it just didn't feel good enough, so we cut the camera and went home. And that, like, we probably could compile all the unreleased car videos and put out like a 3-hour or like something crazy like that, because it's like, but I feel like the hard part of like filming and stuff and just doing too much is sometimes I'll repeat jokes that I like think is funny, but I'm like, I think I said that like a year ago. So stuff like that. It's just like repeating ourselves and stuff like that. But just like, that's pretty hard sometimes, and it feels like work, but it's like.
Do you have editors? Do you like?
No.
It's just the three of you?
It's Nick. Nick edits everything except our podcast. We have one editor. And
Cool.
he's the GOAT as well.
The vibe in the car videos is much different than the vibe in the podcast, but still the same three brothers talking.
Yeah, I think the car videos is when me, Matt, and Nick are just alone, and there is no filmer sitting in the other room, so it's truly just authentically anything is gonna fly. The second me, Matt, and Nick have one additional person added to our group,
mixes something
it just
different.
shifts like crazy, but not to the point where we're just like fake, but it's just like, it's not brotherhood anymore. It's like we're just with a friend. And it's just like, it's funny because it's like, people never understand how me, Matt, and Nick just are us three together. And even like, we just went on a tour and we were going to bed in our bunks on the bus, and there's like 12 people on the bus. And then like 3 days go by of us sleeping on the bus, going into venues, sleeping on the bus, going to venues. And we finally get a hotel. And Nick goes, you wanna know what? I think I'm sleeping more peacefully in these hotels. And not because I'm in a hotel, but just because I'm winding down my day and ending it with a conversation with you guys in private.
Oh.
Yeah. Because even like
so sweet.
on the bus, like we don't have time to like, imagine if we were on a tour bus and me and Matt were like, okay, we have to wind down and have a triplet conversation before bed. We'll be right back, and like walk to the back room. It would be like ridiculous. So we would always just go to bed. But I like found myself overthinking in my bed, like, and just thinking of so much that just a conversation with Nick and Matt before bed it's like melatonin. I'll go to bed right after that.
It's overwhelming. I can't believe you guys went on a tour so
2 times. 2
really
tours.
quick.
Yeah. 2 tours, one in January and then one recently.
It's just like a massive, tangible feeling of your fame, right?
It's
so like,
insane.
Yeah.
What do you guys do on tour?
The first tour was weird because we never did a show before. We didn't know what to expect. So we just did like how we do our car videos, like a Q&A style thing. And we just did a live Q&A. And as fans were walking in, they would write down a question and put in a box. And then they bring the box to the back of the green room, and then we would just sit around and wait to go on stage and pull questions out of the box, and we just answered them and made jokes. It was kind of like a stand-up comedy act.
That's
the first
cool.
tour, but by the end of the first tour, we realized that we're trying to do like stand-up comedy with a crowd that's expecting like a singer. You know what I mean? Because when crowds expect like a big live performance, they're gonna scream, they're gonna yell, they're gonna be excited. But it's like if a stand-up comic walked out on stage and every time they try to make a joke, someone's like, I love you, or like, whoa, or just screaming, they're never gonna get their jokes and point across. So we learned the first tour, we're like, we can't do just talking again, because we need to engage the crowd somehow, because they're not enjoying it as much because they just want to like scream and yell and have fun. So then the second tour we did, there's always this joke in our fan base, like a Nick girl, a Matt girl, a Chris girl, like what triplet you like the most. And so then we just decided, like, let's just take it on tour and like compete with each other, because it's always like a mini competition between us three anyway. So then we just did little mini games, like we did Jenga, we did basketball, we did what else did we do? Jenga, basketball, trivia. Why am I forgetting? Oh, a painting challenge where like, and then we just invited 3 fans on stage with us, 1 from each team, and then we had a teammate. We just competed in challenges, and I won the tour.
Well, that's cool.
Yep.
Oh, that's why you got.
Interesting.
I saw you guys saying, okay, I won Denver, or I won Detroit. Got it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
each show was like a little mini game thing, and then
They added up. That's fun.
they added it up, and then every time you won a show, you got a medal, and I won the most.
That's cool.
Yep.
Is it true people pay to have conversations with y'all?
We do small talks, which is like, it's kind of like a more intimate meet and greet where you get to have a conversation with us, take a selfie, and and signed cards and stuff. It's more than just like a paid conversation. It's a little experience.
It's giving high touch.
It's giving high touch.
Do you know what a high touch is?
No.
Would you like to be educated?
I would love to be educated.
In the K-pop world,
Mm-hmm.
the K-pop idols will stand there
Mm-hmm.
and go like this, and then fans will come up and high touch.
Oh, that's nice.
It's very nice.
Wow.
High touch.
But yeah, we did.
Is it interesting is that like an interesting thing to take part in? Like,
Definitely, yeah.
because it's different than a meet and greet, and then you kind of feel obligated to have a
Yeah.
conversation
I
because
think-
people are paying for it.
The best thing that we do on tour, I would say, is the backstage pass thing. And it's like probably like I want to say 10 people do a backstage pass, and it's just me, Matt, and Nick in a room, and they come and hang out with us for like 10 minutes, and we just all have a conversation. They can get anything they want signed, and like I just like meeting all these people to just try to see what their perspective is of me, because then it helps me a lot going into like creating content and just like being on the internet. I'm like, I wonder what, because I truly am myself on the internet, and there's not much that is hidden from the internet, but it's just like seeing how important I am to these people and seeing how much they care for me, it puts a whole new perspective on my life. Just simply after tour, I just feel instantly more grateful, instantly more connected to our fans, and instantly more just like friends with these people rather than just like a creator on stage. Something about me, Matt, and Nick is we always hated being like standing out or sticking out of a crowd. Like, so being on stage for us three is like crazy because we were always the type of kids, if there's like hooting and hollering around, we'd turn around and like look the other way and be like, what's going on? And then try to like avoid the main, like what everyone's looking at. So changing from three kids that hated being in like the spotlight or having tons of attention on us to like going onto the stage was a crazy, crazy difference. But I really enjoyed tour. It was fun. Matt gets overwhelmed a lot because he just like wants to be home. And I think being like, I don't think he gets overwhelmed by like the shows and the actual tour. I just think it's being away from everything for so long. Nick doesn't care. He's gonna have an opinion on whatever happens, and he doesn't think like a tour is in a month. It's like if he wakes up that day and has breakfast and someone fucks with him, he's gonna care about that day. Nick's a very I'm gonna go by my day one day at a time type of person, where Matt's a month-long person. He's like, dude, I can't do a month on the road, and Nick's like, I don't care. I just better have a good day every day.
What similarities do you all three have?
Oh wow. That's like probably the first time someone's asked that, because people are always more curious about what's different about us three. So I don't think I've ever been asked that question of what similarities we have. Obviously looks, obviously I think we're all very caring people. And I think we're all very grateful. And I think caring is the biggest thing we have in common. And it's all, I think two big reasons is just like my family and then, well, they are also my family, but I was going to say my family and being a triplet is because just my mom is the most caring woman in the world, and she's amazing. And she's the type of lady that like would just help anybody or do anything. Even my grandma, like if you met my grandma, if say one of our supporters was at the store and they saw my grandma and was like, oh, I know your boys, whatever, she'd be like, oh my God, that's awesome. And she'd think we know this girl like personally. She'd be like, here's $20 and a lollipop, like have an amazing day. Like, so she's just, I've always had very caring family and just being grateful. So I think it carried on to me and Matt and Nick, and we just really care a lot about everything. And I think that's definitely what we have mostly in common, even about each other.
That's really special.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, I don't want to be annoying and ask triplet questions, but like,
No, you can.
What is like the most annoying question you get, or the most common question you get?
How do I tell you apart is annoying, because it's like, just figure it out. Like, we're not spitting images of each other. Like.
But you're considered fraternal, or what's the deal?
I always like am so confused by this, because it's like, I don't know, like it's just weird, because it's like I think identical is like something when like when the egg is fertilized, it like splits or something, and then each one is from the same egg is what is like identical.
Cheeky Kels is trying to educate me on this.
It's like, I just don't know. I think it's like if the egg splits, then it's identical, but if they're separate eggs fertilized, then it's fraternal.
I always thought identical is if you looked alike.
I guess so.
That too.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I heard some shit when I was younger that like 2 of us could be identical and 1 of us could be fraternal from the 3 of us. But I think to find that out would be like a blood test or something, and I'm not doing that. I'm fine with
Can't be fucked.
I'm fine with
Not that interesting.
yeah. I don't care that much. I just because it's also like it's obviously wouldn't change anything in our relationship. But if us 3 took a blood test and they were identical and I was fraternal, I'd be like, what the fuck? What's going on? Why are you guys identical? But it's also weird because like everyone's always like they'll always meet us and be like, oh, you 2 look most similar. Oh, you 2 look most similar. But everyone we meet never picks the same 2. They're like, it's always like me and Matt look the most similar, or Nick and Matt look the most similar. And people always do that, but it's never me and Nick ever. People always think me and Matt look the most alike, or Nick and Matt look the most alike, but never me and Nick get compared to one another.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, Matt's a blend of me and Nick. That's literally how I look at it.
Do you see any of the success as like the universe looking out for you all? Because you had a couple rough years before you ended up having a break. You lost everything in a fire, correct?
Yeah, we did. That was a crazy time, and it was just a weird time in our life where, yet again, we grew up in Somerville, Mass, which is like a smaller city right outside of Boston. And my mom, I always joke that she could be the mayor. She knows everyone in that city. So we had a lot of friends that we had a lot of caring and loving friends, which was amazing and helped us out so much through that time. But it was wild. We had the same family house that we lived in our whole life. And there was one time where we almost moved. And I think I was like the sole reason we didn't move when we were probably like 13 or 14, but I was like, I can't leave this house. I like it too much. I think the selling factor was that the bathroom was on like a separate floor of the new house. I was like, I hate the idea that I'd have to like go upstairs and shower every time. Like, I just don't want to move into this house. So then we stayed at the house that we grew up in. And then a couple years later, it was our junior year of high school, it caught on fire. And me, Matt, and Nick used to share 2 bedrooms. We would have like a man cave room where it was like our PlayStations and computers and like a couch, and we'd just all hang out in there. And then our bedroom, which was all our clothes and 3 beds, like all in the same bedroom. And then the house caught on fire. It was really crazy point in time. It was just like one of those things where like you hear stories of that happening to people and you just never think it's going to happen to you. And then it does, and you're like, wow, like that's insane.
That's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
My house burning down.
My fear is now severe, like with fire. Just like even outside, if someone has a fire, I get super nervous. Inside, I always blow candles out, and then I'll look at it and make sure that there's no flame that's going to come back. The stove, I'll always triple check that it's off, like shit like that. But fire definitely intimidates me a lot now. But yeah, it's scary. And then I remember me and Matt were home, and we were sleeping in super late. We've always been the type to stay up late as hell. Like I stay up till like 5, 6 in the morning, go to bed, sleep till like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And it was like 2 in the afternoon. We were sleeping in, me and Matt, and it was and Justin. We were all sleeping in super late. My mom had just gotten home from walking our dog, and then some cop was banging on our door and was like, come down, whatever. And then my mom was in the living room. She ran downstairs and she saw the cop and was like, what's going on? She's like, your house is on fire. Get everyone outside. If my mom wasn't home, life would be totally different, because I don't know if me and Matt would have like died
nobody
or not.
knew that it was. How could you?
It started on the back porch. The fire from a cigarette from my aunt who lived beneath us, and it burnt up the back of the house. And then because all the doors were shut on the back, so it like had nowhere to go inside of the house. So it just kept going up the back. And the back of the house by level was like the first floor apartment, our kitchen, and then the man cave bedroom was like the 3rd floor on the back, like that. And then Nick was out of the house, so my mom thought the banging on the door was Nick, and he like forgot his key, and she was getting ready to like yell at him, like, "What? Why is he knocking so loud? Like he's gonna break the glass." So she went down there, opened the door, and it was a cop, and she's like, "Get everyone out." Me and Matt ran outside. It's like when people are always like, "Oh, if your house is on fire, what's the first thing you're grabbing?" You're not grabbing anything. You're getting outside because you have no idea where the fire is. If you're me and Matt, my older brother grabbed everything. Like me and Matt,
17 suitcases.
No, literally, me and Matt.
Boxes
I ran outside and I'm in my underwear and my boxers. Junior year of high school. It's not like a normal age to be outside in my underwear. So I'm like, oh my god, I need clothes. And then my neighbor comes outside with like a Tupperware bin of his old like high school uniforms or something. He's like, "Here, take this." So then I put on his like tracksuit. So I have like some high school tracksuit on outside. And then Matt also puts on clothes. And I'm just sitting there on the curb, like watching my house burn. And cops start coming out of left field. Like everyone's like going to our house, cops, firemen, everything. My friend drives by on his motorcycle. He's like, "Is that your house burning?" I was like, "Yep." And then all my friends started coming out of nowhere. Like people were hearing it on the news and just coming over. Like everyone, so many people I knew were right there in that moment. My mom's getting harassed by like insurance people. Like, "Oh, like we have the best house insurance here. Just, I don't know what it was, but they were just trying to scam us." So my mom's getting like,
the house is like still in the middle of burning.
Literally the second that people hear houses are on fire, they fly there to try to make a quick dollar on
That's
it and take
so
advantage of people.
fucking dark.
Yeah, my mom was getting, probably had like a deck of business cards after, like a full 52. It was insane. And then, me and Matt ran outside. I'm still scared because I don't even know Nick left the house at this point. But then I assumed when I woke up out of my bed and didn't see him that he was already gone because we all had the same bedroom at that point. So I knew he was out. I knew my dad was at work. And I was like, "Where is Justin? What the fuck is he doing?" Comes outside, full outfit, like, and it color coded and everything. Like it looks like he's good. Like it literally looked like he was gonna take like photos. Like he looked very, very well and put together. He has his JanSport backpack and he's like walking outside casually. And I'm sitting there thinking he's like dying. And he comes out with a full outfit on. I'm like, this kid is losing his mind. And he just walks out, and then I just thought it was so funny because I was sitting there in a neighbor's clothes and he just had like one of the best outfits I've seen him put on in a while. And then
to watch his house burn down.
Like it was crazy. It was so funny.
He knew he was going to be on the news that day.
Literally.
He's like, "Yeah,
literally.
I got dressed to impress."
It was so funny. And I always make that joke with him. I'm like, "You are just like the least urgent person I know, like just casually walking out of a house fire." And it was funny too because like I was in such like sense of urgency and I didn't see any flames or anything happening. I just knew to get out. He probably saw more of like an actual experience going on. And
like the house is burning on the outside while he's getting through the window while he's getting changed.
Literally, it was crazy. And then there was like Red Cross or something was like offering us like hospitality and like hotels and stuff for a little bit. But we just knew so many people that we were fine. Our friend, his family was on vacation and was like, "Bro, literally have my house." And his mom gave my mom the keys, and she's like, "Anything in the fridge is yours. Any clothes you need, take
really
it."
sweet.
The goats, amazing family.
Kindness of community.
Yeah, amazing family. And we were really good friends with the kid who was in our grade, and so shout out to them. And then we stayed in their house for about, I want to say like a week. Or maybe longer, like 2 weeks. And then my mom and dad were obviously looking for an apartment. But what sucked the most about it is right when the fire was happening, they were like, "You guys are going to be out of your house for probably like 3 months, I want to say, while construction's going on." We're like, okay, 3 months is a while, it seems like, but it's okay. We can figure it out. 3 months isn't too bad. And then it started getting delayed more and more. Like after the fire fully was put out, they're like, "You're looking more at like probably like 5 months." So it just kept prolonging. COVID happened. Only one construction worker could work on the scene at a time. One person for our whole house. So then it got delayed even more. And then people were just getting sick, and then it just kept getting delayed, and all the delays, like the COVID delays kicked in. We didn't move back to our house for like 2 years. And we were told 3 months initially. So I was like devastated.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was brutal. But we then moved into an apartment across the city. which was probably like really the hardest part of life for me that I've experienced so far. But what came out of it is the best thing that's ever happened in my life. So I never even really cared that much that it happened. I think it was the best learning experience that I've had. Just because like me and Matt shared a living room as a bedroom. Nick had an office. My mom and dad had their room. Justin had his room. And it was just super small for our family. So we were always on top of each other, getting into arguments. And it was just like, you're raising 4 kids, 3 of them being teenagers, all in the same house. Obvious, no family's perfect. There's going to be like arguing. And that's kind of what birthed our content and made it a thing, because me, Matt, and Nick would get angry sometimes. We'd be like, we got to get out. Like, let's just leave the house. Matt had his license, got in the minivan, drove down the street. Car videos exist now because of that, pretty much.
That's
No
crazy.
way.
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. And the fire is like to thank for all of it, pretty much, which is crazy. But it's like, even just like, we were obviously a fortunate family, but also like my mom and dad supporting 4 kids and like having to buy 3 of everything was a lot.
Yeah.
Like we had Samsung phones like till like sophomore year. Obviously I'm super fortunate for what I did have, but also like splitting things with, like I always was like, if my mom bought Matt something nice, I was like, okay, I'll wait my turn to like get something. Cause I just knew that like my mom and dad were just gonna like spit out money and buy a bunch of things for everybody. But then then at that point I started making my own money at Star Market. So I was buying myself like all the Lyrical Lemonade shit, all Little Skies merch. Like that's all I would buy for myself, things I loved. And then it all burnt. And then, cause it was mostly where we kept our clothes and stuff that just got attacked by this fire. And then even not like down the hall was where my main dresser was with all my clothes, but just like the amount of like water damage and smoke smell, everything in the house, fire or not, had to get like new couch, wasn't even touched by the fire. Just the intense smell of everything. It's like impossible to air out a house fire. So then we did like an event. It was kind of like a baby shower, but for like house fires. And it was like, we rented out a bar or something, or like some tavern. And we did like, a lot of generous people in our city got us like a new blender, a new thing of pots and pans. Yeah. A new, like my mom knows everybody in our city. I'm not even underestimating that. Like she knows every person ever. So it's like someone's like, hey, Mary Lou, I got 3 chairs, need them? Hey, I got a coffee table. Hey, I got this. Hey, I got that. So our house is fully pretty much furnished just from gifts of people throwing stuff out, Facebook Marketplace, people just like stuff like that.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. And then I had no clothes except this high school tracksuit that I got from my neighbor. So I bought 1 pair of shoes. I bought some sweatpants, some hoodies, and some hats. And that's all I really had senior year. And then I also had to quit my job because of COVID and Star Market. And it just was getting overwhelming. And at this point, we were like just fully focusing on YouTube. We had no job. And me, Matt, and Nick would split a YouTube check of like $100 every month. And like my mom would give us obviously cover for our food and stuff. But anything we wanted or anything special was like me, Matt, and Nick were splitting the YouTube checks that were not enough to split 3 ways, but we made it work for that whole year of grinding YouTube. And then, then we finally got to move back into our house. That we live currently at the same house that caught on fire back home now. And that was a super amazing experience, because just going back to that house when it was fully done and how different my life was just like, wow. It was insane. But yeah.
A huge transition.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Really wild.
And it was just humbling as well, because like going from having a decent amount of things that I really loved and enjoyed, and then getting it all torn away, just to like, then it was like a rebranding of life. Like I felt like I was reshaping everything after that house fire. And I would always prolong my problems because of that. Like when we would have like things we wanted to do or cared about, I'd be like, once I get back in my old house, I can do this, but I can't do it here. And I would always just prolong things until like I would get to that house, which is honestly something I struggle with nowadays too, where I'll set unreasonable things that I like need to happen before I do something, where I'll be like, oh, like I'll figure that out once this happens. And it's like, no, just do it. Mm-hmm. Just figure it out, bro.
You're just trying to avoid doing it.
Exactly. But I would always use it as an excuse. Like, yeah, like.
What are you doing? How does that apply today?
It applies today, like, just for, like, content things and just, like, like my brand as well. Like I'm not gonna work on my brand until me, Matt, and Nick have like a good solid month of like content that we care about and want to really work on it. And then I push my stuff back. But it's like, dude, just work on it. Like just get up early, work on your shit. And I always have like excuses sometimes. I come up with a lot of excuses.
I get it.
Yeah.
I procrastinating.
Yeah.
He does.
It's fucked up.
It is. It's a bad cycle. I don't think it's fucked up every once in a while, but once you get in the cycle,
It's easy to get lost in it. Yeah.
It definitely is. Yeah. But I'm also super grateful that I've had working experience in my life, because that also is huge for me. Just like understanding the value of a dollar bill, understanding how hard people work, and just and understanding just life in general, and just like, obviously when you're like a creator and you're very blessed and you have an amazing opportunity in your life. And I think that my attitude about things in my life would be different if I didn't work a job where I was actually working like every single day after school. And I cared more about that job than I did school. I didn't give a shit about school. I just cared about going to work after and making some money.
I worked at a grocery store too, and I loved it.
It was awesome.
It
wasn't even
banger.
like, especially being with Nick and Matt, wasn't bad at all. And I was friends with like I could make friends with anybody. Like I really, like, we just have to have a few things in common. And I'm like open with friends as well. Like I was friends with like 40-year-olds at the store. I was friends with like just anybody at the grocery store. And then being with Nick and Matt.
Did the three of you go in together for
A
the job
lot.
interview?
No. So my friend that we were really good friends with in high school, still good friends with, her aunt worked at the grocery store as like a manager. And it was around the time in school where like kids are just getting jobs and you're like, whoa, like we should probably do this. Yeah, it's like lifetime, junior year, sophomore year, whatever. All my friends are getting jobs at like the rec and stuff, like the recreational center in the school. And like we were just thinking of what to do. And my older brother, Justin, had previously worked at a grocery store when he was younger. And we were like, let's just all get a job at the grocery store. So then Nick went in first. We also, like, me and Matt, this is when we were also like kind of like more shy and not as outgoing. So we always kind of used Nick as like a guinea pig to do things, because he was just like the most outgoing and most down to do things. So me and Matt were like, Nick, why don't you get a job? Tell us how it is in like a month, and then we'll join. Like, so that's pretty, like, that's literally how it worked. It was hilarious. So Nick went to the grocery store. He got a job. And me and Matt went and were present while his interview was happening, because it wasn't like a stereotypical interview. It was like we were going with our friend to see her aunt that we already knew personally at the grocery store. And then she was like, yeah, like she did the normal procedures. We met the people there. Nick got his job. I would fuck with him so much because I would go through Star Market and I would just buy stuff through his line just to be funny, because I'm like, you're working and I'm not yet, but I'm going to be doing what you're doing. And then a couple months later, me and Matt got the same job. But like even like the update stuff, like when you're working somewhere and they're like, okay, every 3 months you take like the test of like this one's about like work safety.
Yeah.
And it's like the robbery protocol, the like active shooter protocol, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
We would take those together, which I thought was like funny. Like I have videos of me and Nick taking like our protocol tests together, like on computers and shit in the grocery store.
It's fucking cool to have two other people to do life with.
It was the funniest when people were just like walking through our line, and like the amount of people that, like, when I go through a grocery store, I'll grab everything I need and I'll check out and I'll leave. But the amount of people that like just don't know what they're doing at the grocery store is crazy, and you really experience it when you're checking out everyone. The amount of people that will come up and be like, where's this? Where's that? Give me one thing. Hold this for a second. I got to go get this. Like, it's just a lot of chaos at the grocery store. And some lady, I always have this memory of this lady would put like a cucumber on my thing, and she walked away to get like more groceries. And then she comes back to my line, and she went to Matt instead and put her new groceries. And she's like, where's my cucumber? And Matt's like, I don't have your cucumber. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, lady. And then I'm just standing there, and I know I could easily resolve the problem by like turning around and being like, oh, that was actually me. But I just thought that shit was so funny. Because it was just like, this lady's freaking out about an imaginary cucumber in Matt's life that I already knew it was a thing. It was just funny, shit like that. Or people like when it was us three in a line, like checking people out, and I'm like in the front, like seeing people like look over my shoulder to see if there's like a mirror or something. So I'd be like, why is there three of the same kids checking people out? It was funny. It was so funny. It was hilarious.
It's kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah. And especially when like one of us would bag for the other one. It's like two kids that look the exact same at the grocery store.
Now, being triplets like make boring, mundane shit like a little bit more exciting.
100%. 100%.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming and doing this, by the way.
Of course. I'm very, very happy. I hear nothing but good stuff from your podcast. So I knew when I wanted to do one, I had to come to this one.
That really means a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
guys may be like one of the most requested guests.
Oh, yeah.
I
We were
love
getting
that.
requests for you guys before you even posted that. And then as soon as
Really?
you posted that, our DMs and we were just getting blown up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Well, I'm happy I came. Or my fans are going to be very happy.
No, yeah. We're keeping them fed today.
Yes, we are. I love it.
It means a lot.
Nick and Matt got to come in. I'm the guinea pig of today. I'm
Yeah.
going to go home and I'll be like, yo,
You're Nick for the day.
it was good. It was fun. Go do it. And they'll come on. They'll do it.
By the way, you all can come separate. Like you don't even need
Yeah.
to all come together. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll tell them.
You know, the members
gonna
of
be so
BTS
curious.
come on their own. You know, they
Right,
don't
that's
always
cool.
travel as a group.
It's good though, because it's like if you have me on, and then Matt and Nick come on, and they have their stories, they'll probably contradict what I'm saying. which
That's
would be-
what I love.
It's gonna be hilarious. 'Cause it's gonna be like, what is going on?
Oh, they'll take all three injuries and like play them against each other.
Exactly. It's gonna be hilarious. People
that's
do that shit
fun.
all the time. It's funny.
That's good.
Yep.
By the way, we got you soap.
Soap.
Yeah.
I love soap.
Do you?
I do.
Is that like a thing? Maybe.
No, it's not really a thing in like our content or anything. I'm excited.
I thought maybe that's why.
I didn't know why they got you soap.
So like we sometimes they leave gifts for our guests that come by. And I was like, I got a picture today, and it was custom soap.
Custom soap. That's crazy.
So like your name is like carved in
Wait,
soap.
should I use it then or should I save it?
I don't know. That's conflicting too, right? Like,
Yeah.
is it weird to wash your own body with your own name?
Chris
Like,
Soap.
yeah. Well, it's your full name too.
Wow, Christopher Sturniolo.
Yeah. Well, I think just Chris.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. The bar soap's not that big.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, why did they get you? Why'd they fucking get you soap? It's a little
Hey,
offensive almost.
Maybe it is. Matt and Nick have this ongoing joke about my like health in the videos.
Dude,
Like,
you guys eat like shit in those videos.
we do.
It's like chicken nuggets, French
My
fries.
diet
chips,
isn't the best,
Pepsi.
but my
They're-
personal health,
They're children.
my personal health is fine. Nick and Matt like to joke around and say that they'll be like, bro, you smell bad, whatever. There was also this inside joke from our fan base like months ago where we did a meet and greet in Texas for the first time ever. And I was talking all day, and like one girl was like, bro, his breath smelled bad. And now they like run with it all day, and they're like, bro, like they just fuck with me because they think it's funny to like put like, oh, the Chris smells bad on the internet. And I'm like, you guys are annoying as shit. Like they just do it to fuck with me. And it's like, I love taking care of myself. I brush my teeth 2 times a day. I floss.
Now you look very clean.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I got new soap to try.
Yeah. Look. Yeah.
Let's go.
You're welcome. So as you sit here today as a 20-year-old human, how do you define success? Like, what does success mean to you?
I think success to me is surrounding yourself around people you love and being happy with that. And I think it's being okay. Success isn't about success isn't everything about being good and happening the right way. I think it's more of how you learn from things that aren't successful and then you turn it into success. That's what I think success is.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. I think just like learning from yourself, learning from your mistakes, being who you are, surrounding yourself with good people, and just being a good human is success, regardless of what you're doing.
That takes awareness, and awareness is sometimes really hard.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
easy to get lost and like just blinded.
For sure. Yet again, I think being a triplet like elevates everything else for me because like my success, like how I look at it as well, and just like saying like my success is like with relationships and with like being myself. Nick and Matt assisted me so much to do those things. So I just think being a triplet's the biggest blessing in my life. So yeah, I always bring it up.
Beautiful. Final thoughts?
Just Fresh Love is your brand only, right?
Yeah,
So that's the one thing you have going that's solely you.
pretty much. Yeah,
Okay.
It's my brand. I've always been into just making shit when I was younger. Like if me, Matt, and Nick had a blank white tee laying around the house, I would grab it and like draw on it or something along those lines. And I always just liked wearing something that I created to some level. So making my own brand was something I've wanted to do for a while. Yet again, it was one of those things that just didn't feel obtainable. And then once we got the right people and it actually became a thing, then I was like, oh, I'm definitely doing that. And I just really enjoy it now. I need to work more on it. and do better things that I really enjoy. But yeah, we all like having our little individual things. Nick and Matt are working on individual things right now that I'm really proud of both of them for. That they'll probably be out and about eventually. But yeah, we're always working on things, individual or together. But they really haven't done their individual thing yet. But I like see it happening, and I just can't wait for people to see it. It's gonna be
for you, it's a clothing brand.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Are you dropping new pieces? What's the deal?
I try to drop like 6 times a year, but right now I'm having just technical difficulties with my website and stuff like that, trying to find the ideal, like, because it's also crazy because my brand is like, it's so weird because it's just like, I would need way more help with my brand than I thought I would, not on the creative side, but just on like everything else, like, because it's just so elevated. Like me, like even with our merch and stuff, like we underestimate how much help we might need, but beyond the 3 of us. So my thing is more of finding the right team to help me do it, and then dropping things that I really love.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly. I'm so comfortable with not dropping for a while and then coming with something I actually really love and enjoy. I'd wait like forever to drop something. I never just put out something to put it out.
Dude, you have time on your side. So.
Yeah. And I feel like since that's a solo mission for me, it matters way more to me, and I'll take more time with it because I always have like the Sturniolo things that I can do, like Let's Trip, our group merch. I can just like work on that for now.
Yeah, you got shit.
Yeah.
Chris Sturniolo.
Yes.
This was fun.
This is cool.
This was very fun.
Yeah, you're a good guy.
Yeah, I'm way less intimidated now than I was. I was nervous. My first interview. But yeah, you guys, it was good. I had a lot of fun.
I'd be lying to you if I said everybody was like us, but
Yeah.
come back and hang.
I will. I'll definitely come back. I had a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
And tell your,
Oh, they'll be here.
spread the word.
I will. They'll be here.
Cool. Chris Sturniolo, everybody.
Yes.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you guys.